Hello, I'm Elizabeth DePompe with DAV, and I'm excited to talk to you today about opportunities for veteran and military spouse founders looking to take their businesses to the next level. If you aren't a vetrepreneur, stick around and share this video with your network. Your support helps us empower more veterans and military spouses in a really unique way. For those who don't know, DAV Patriot Boot Camp is a transformative program that equips founders in the veteran and military community with comprehensive entrepreneurship education, world-class mentorship, access to resources, and a vital community committed to their success. DAV Patriot Boot Camp leads several 3-day cohorts throughout the year and hosts in-person and virtual pitch competitions with thousands in non-dilutive funding up for grabs. Applications for the next DAV Patriot Boot Camp, which will be held May 14th to 16th near Cincinnati, Ohio, are now open. Learn more and apply today at patriotbootcamp.org. To talk more about the program and get kind of an inside look at what it's really like, today I'm joined by a Patriot Boot Camp alum and two-time pitch competition contestant, Jasmine Paul. Jasmine is an Air Force veteran and the founder of The Wealth Playground, a financial education startup teaching kids ages 5 to 18 about money. Jasmine, I wish you and The Wealth Playground were around when I was ages 5 to 18, but thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth, and all of the DAV Patriot Boot Camp team. I appreciate all of you.
Of course. Can you start by telling us a little bit about your military service?
Absolutely. So I was a military brat growing up. Both my parents were in the Air Force, and I was not actually interested in joining the military, but I had an opportunity to get a scholarship while I was in college, and I ended up graduating college and then commissioning into the United States Air Force. My first duty assignment, or I guess my first career, was as a nuclear missile combat crew member. So I was in the Northwest, fighting nuclear deterrence. And I then transitioned into becoming a finance officer about 4 years later, where I had the opportunity to travel all over the world. I was deployed to Afghanistan, went to South Korea, and then just had some really cool missions with Special Operations Command and then with Air Education and Training Command.
And so how did you go from all of that into becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I feel like I've always had the entrepreneur bug. When I was, I think, 9, I co-founded like a baking business with a friend. And so we would go door to door on base, selling baked goods to our neighbors. Unfortunately, we got shut down, but that's okay. So I always had the entrepreneurial spirit. My grandmother and my aunt are both entrepreneurs. And so I ended up having a filmmaking business in college. Ended up shutting it down because I didn't know anything about business. I just really loved making videos and photography, cinematography as well. And so how I landed into the Wealth Playground was really coming through my own struggles with money. I struggled my senior year of college to pay my bills and ended up facing housing insecurity. And then I realized as I was graduating and commissioning into the Air Force that there had to be a different route. Like if I continued doing the same thing that I did in college, I was going to end up being really broke and not having money to pay my bills. And so I read books at the library and studied and asked friends and people who were kind of like 2 or 3 steps ahead of me. And I learned more about like my own personal finances, and I realized so many people were struggling with their personal finances. And one of the things they kept saying was, I wish I learned this as a kid. I'm like, well, why are we not teaching kids? And so that's where kind of my love for entrepreneurship came from, but definitely where the Wealth Playground was started.
And so you attended DAV Patriot Boot Camp at DAV's national headquarters. I think it was early 2024. Why did you attend? Like, what were you looking to get out of it? And then what was the experience like for you?
Absolutely. So I separated from active duty in May of 2023. And I think like many veterans who are transitioning, there's just kind of this loss of community and honestly, maybe a little sense of identity as well. And so I was doing a lot of entrepreneur programs and networking, and I felt like there was like this missing piece. And I believe that missing piece was the veteran community. And so
Mm.
my goal for 2024 was really just leaning into my veteran identity. I think part of me when I left was like, no, like I'm just going to be a regular civilian. But at the end of the day, I'm not a regular civilian. I come from a big military background and I really loved my service. And so my goal was to get back to that community. And I believe DAV Patriot Boot Camp helped me do that. While there, it was just awesome to be in the room with other people who got it. Like they get it. They understand deployments. They understand PCS and TDYs, and they understand like all the acronyms that we throw out there as military members. And for me, I was able to get back to that sense of community that I felt was missing once I left active duty.
Yeah, having been in that room with DAV Patriot Boot Camp several times now, and being able to kind of witness the energy and the camaraderie, and it does seem like everyone, they have these kind of shared values, and they understand each other and what they're trying to accomplish. And I just have to say, Jasmine, I was in the room when with your cohort when you were there, and you added so much energy and excitement to that room too. So it was great to have you. What do you think was most valuable when you walked away from your cohort? What was most valuable and helpful for you as a business owner?
Oh, I think there's so much. So I'll start with kind of the learning or the development around business development. I think definitely honing in on my story and being able to share what I love to do with the world in a concise way that would make sense, but also have people say yes to me if I was like in a pitch competition or if I was in a business meeting. I think that was really, really helpful. The story, being able to talk with legal experts, that was super helpful as well, to figure out kind of like the legal structure of the business of some different components that I was working on. So that was incredibly helpful. I mean, talk to a lawyer for no cost is amazing. um, I, I think, and then also the business mentors and advisors were really helpful. I had the opportunity to talk to several. There's one in particular that I'm thinking of who has just kind of been a champion since then. Reaches out, like I give them updates on kind of where my business is, and I think it's always great to have a mentor and a sponsor and an advisor, but I think it's just a little bit different when you have someone who has walked in your shoes. They understand where you're coming from. They understand the life that you came from, and they also understand like the mission, but like why you want to do what you want to do. And I really appreciate the definitely the business advisors and then the programming as well. For the cohort, I loved my cohort. I think it was just really awesome. I love that everyone always makes fun of the Air Force. I get it. We lived a good life. But it was really nice to be back in that atmosphere around people, like you mentioned, had shared values. We were able to talk about our experiences and just to hear all the different businesses. Like I felt like it wasn't competition. It was all about collaboration and really trying to champion each other to get to our goals.
Yeah. And I'm glad you bring up mentorship, which I want to talk about for a second, because this is another way that folks can get involved. So mentorship is a key component of DAV Patriot Boot Camp and something that any entrepreneur knows is vital to their success. In addition to networking opportunities, each participant is matched with multiple mentors for one-on-one sessions and encouraged to stay in touch with them beyond the 3-day event, like Jasmine talked about in her case. If you watching are a subject matter expert in areas like product development, operations, finance, marketing, law, sales, etc., and interested in mentoring veterans and military spouses, please visit patriotbootcamp.org/become-a-mentor. We'll put the link in the comments as well, to learn more and to volunteer to be a mentor. Jasmine, you also mentioned the pitch competition. So you were a finalist and ultimately winner of your cohort's pitch competition. You then went on to compete in person and on the big stage at DAV's National Convention in Phoenix, Arizona. What were those experiences like, and what did you learn from them?
Yeah. So for 2024, going back to my goals, another goal of mine was definitely pitching the Wealth Playground and getting in front of crowds, just to share the work that I've been doing. The experience was fun. I love speaking in front of a crowd. I really enjoy that. But I feel like with DAV Patriot Boot Camp, it was an opportunity to really solidify my story. Like, shout out to Dan. He's an amazing storyteller, and he worked with me to share, not only for the Patriot Boot Camp, but also for other pitch competitions that I've done throughout the year in 2024. I just think it was just helpful. I think it's no need to be shy about what you do. Like, you're the business owner, you're the person who runs this. And so being able to share my mission and what I've done and who I've been able to impact was awesome. So prize or no prize, I think it's just a amazing thing when you can get up there and share what you're doing, and you just never know who's in the room. And that's what I experienced for sure at in Ohio, and then also, or I guess in Kentucky, but also in in Arizona.
Great. So catch us up on what's been going on with the Wealth Playground in the past year or so.
Yes. Oh man, a bit of a whirlwind. It's definitely been good. So after I left Patriot Boot Camp, I went on to do a few other business programs, both that were veteran related and non-veteran related. Um, I've been able to definitely increase my revenue, which is really awesome. This year, I'm going to be adding a new product line that I was developing last year, as well as a new technology that I've been working on. And so being able to talk with the business mentors and then also people in my cohort from Patriot Boot Camp was very, very helpful in just getting a clear idea of what I wanted to do in 2025. I recently graduated from the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women Black in Business program. That was a bit of a whirlwind as well. I've been working with a organization. Well, I will be working with them soon to launch a financial literacy program within a STEM program that they have, and so it's been busy.
Good. Yeah. Well, congratulations on all of that. I know we gave kind of like the quick pitch of the Wealth Playground. I don't know if we've talked about, in addition to programming, you also have like the children's books and
Yes.
different products, which I think is really great. So can you tell people just a little bit more about how you achieve this mission of financial youth literacy?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Wealth Playground is a K through 12 ed tech company teaching young people about financial literacy and 21st century life skills. So we design learning materials such as our children's books, workbooks, as well as digital products, and then we combine play, education, SEL, and math to our workshop programming, and then we license curriculum to schools, organizations, nonprofits, whoever is serving youth. That's who we would love to target and love to speak with. I believe we've been able to impact over 11,000 young people since the Wealth Playground was created. We've been able to sell over 15,000 copies of our children's book series. And then hopefully my goal is by 2030 to impact over 250,000 young people. So please, if you know a program or a organization that wants to impact young people through financial literacy, think of the Wealth Playground.
Yeah, absolutely. I also, because we've spoken about the children's books in particular before, and something that really stood out to me as well is that it's important to you to make sure that you are representing children of all genders and races, because I think you had a stat at the time about how few children's books include children who are Black or who are children of color, and so I think that's another really important piece of the work that you do.
Absolutely. And we also have not only genders and races, but also children with different disabilities or different abilities as well. And so I wanted to make sure that all children were represented, as you mentioned, Elizabeth, because it's important that young people see themselves in the stories that they're being read to them.
Absolutely. So what advice do you have to other veterans turned entrepreneurs? Maybe they're early in their journey. What would you tell them?
I would say Well, one, congratulations. It is not an easy road to be on, but congratulations that you made the decision for yourself and for your family. I think number two is getting around community. That is so important. Getting around people who are like minded, who are in business as well. I think that's really critical. I love my friends who have 9 to 5s and are in corporate America and they're still in the military, but sometimes I think an entrepreneur just understands a little bit differently the struggles that you're facing. And so while I think your support system should be well-rounded and it should have all of those people involved, but definitely get around some like-minded entrepreneurs who are going to champion you, support you, and then also connect you with resources, with potential deals or business partnerships. And so I think those are the two things. One, celebrate, but also get around community.
Great. Jasmine, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your service and sharing everything that you have with us today. For those watching, you can learn more about the Wealth Playground at thewealthplayground.com. Jasmine, also happy to hear that not only did you have a good experience at DAV Patriot Boot Camp, but it sounds like that support system has really continued over the past year or so. So if you are watching and interested, applications for the next DAV Patriot Boot Camp happening May 14th to May 16th near Cincinnati, Ohio are now open. Learn more and apply today at patriotbootcamp.org.